Hello, esteemed members of the Board of Trustees and Austin ISD community. My name is David Lopez, and I am the Director of Equitable Systems at Wested and Co-Project Director of Austin ISD's Equity Assessment, along with my colleague, Dr. Raifu Duradoye. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you all with a brief progress update of the project. To begin, I would like to provide a quick overview of the three focus areas that Austin ISD explicitly listed in the RFP, which we believe were drawn from Austin ISD's long-range plan. We will focus on students, staff, and resource allocation. It's important to note that all of the deliverables will be organized around these three areas. To meet the requirements, Wested takes a three-phased approach to this work. In our phase one, our culturally responsive data collection consists of a document review. The document review is essentially an environmental scan. Its purpose is to inventory the current policies, practices, and strategies being implemented within the district. We are conducting a data analysis, which is meant to supplement the analysis that have already been conducted. The purpose is to answer important yet unanswered questions that need to be addressed before we move into root cause analysis and action planning. We have conducted community meaning-making conversations, which serve two purposes. One, it enables the community to provide feedback on our process that we can incorporate. It also provides an opportunity for community members to tell us what issues are important to them. We will also conduct focus groups. Our focus groups is a formal research activity, which will help us identify consistent themes across groups. The focus group protocols or questions are developed based on what is learned from the document review, the meaning-making conversations, and our data analysis. Once complete, we will move into phase two, culture responsive data literacy and root cause analysis. We will work with Austin to develop and create a district equity team that will complete 5 full-day sessions to identify the root causes and recommendations to address inequities. And finally, we will end with phase three. In this phase, we will finalize our reporting and planning for implementation and continue to provide updates to the community on our findings.
Hello, my name is Dr. Raifu Duradoye, and as my colleague David Lopez mentioned, I am the co-project director for the Austin ISD district-wide equity assessment. We thought it was appropriate to provide some additional information on the district equity team, or DET. Namely, we wanted to clearly articulate three things. First, the purpose for convening a DET. Second, we'll talk about the role the DET will play in completing the district-wide equity assessment. And third, we'll speak to some of the activities that the DET will specifically be tasked with. To begin, let's talk about the purpose of the DET. The DET increases district buy-in. It's important for members of the school community to develop, understand, and support the recommendations and activities that stem from the assessment. This is one of the reasons we've spent considerable time with the district thinking about the constitution of this body. The DET will continue this work. It's also important to remember that Austin ISD leadership and personnel will ultimately be tasked with implementing the recommendations and strategies that we land on. The DET, collaboratively with other invested internal and external groups, will fund, coordinate, and monitor progress towards the district's equity goals. I also want to briefly speak to the role the DET will play in completing the equity assessment. So the DET will be convened for phase two of the assessment, and Wested will facilitate 5 working sessions with the DET, and during those sessions, the DET will review the deliverables generated during phase one, discuss and inventory root issues, and prioritize strategies to move this work forward. So essentially, the DET will determine how the district will take tangible steps to address inequities that have been uncovered or unearthed through the course of the assessment. Lastly, I want to preview some of the activities that the DET will engage in. Namely, the DET will be asked to develop an implementation or action plan. This plan will consist of prioritized strategies, an implementation timeline, and responsible staff. The purpose of the action plan is to push the district toward implementation. So through the course of the working sessions, the DET will also identify progress monitoring measures to support continuous improvement. To close, an important undertaking of the DET is also to partner with other groups and invested community members, like the EAC, for example, to share out information with the larger school community. With that, we've given you a brief overview of some of the roles, responsibilities of the DET.
In phase one, community engagement is essential to our understanding of the inequities in the district. We have attended Austin ISD's showcase, Hope Fest, all in efforts to recruit for our focus groups. We have completed 3 meaning-making conversations, one with staff, one with families, and one with community organizations. We've had several opportunities for district engagement, had chief meetings along with individual meetings with district staff and chiefs. We've provided updates to the Equity Advisory Committee. We've attended principals meetings to provide updates and ask for support in focus group recruitment. We have met with and provided updates to Education Austin and to this esteemed board. We have made significant progress in phase one. For our document review, we have reviewed and summarized 30 documents. We are in the process of finalizing our document review memo. We have worked on an exploratory data analysis where we are completing the remaining analyses of the data and finalizing the meaning-making conversations memo. I'd like to provide you some updates of our findings based on these activities. In terms of the document review, we have found that many formal plans have been created, yet they're not aligned or integrated across. So many of the documents are lacking coherence. To the district's credit, we have noticed that the district has engaged in these types of reviews analysis. However, at this point, many of them are becoming duplicative. And a very important finding is that throughout our document review, we've noticed very little by way of implementation, evaluation, and continuous improvement. For our data analysis, using the SVI index based on the long-range plan shows that Austin ISD is a district with schools that differ vastly in terms of the needs of students served. We are finding disproportionate access to important educational resources, such as gifted and talented programming. And in terms of the data, we are finding that the data systems are not maintained in a way that makes conducting analysis across functional areas or progress monitoring easy to accomplish. We also received a lot of important information through our meaning-making conversations, such as community organizations want to partner, but they don't always feel their input is valued. Some organization indicated that Austin ISD is not proactive in its outreach, but reaches out in times of crisis, but doesn't establish longer, more genuine partnership. And that there's a sense that all funds are not distributed equally or equitably across the district. For our next steps, we are working on our focus groups, our recruitment and incentives. We've done a lot of work in terms of recruitment. We will have $50 gift cards and food the day for those who participate. And we continue to seek support from all areas of Austin ISD to recruit for the focus groups. We are working to finalize the team composition of the district equity team and to schedule those sessions with various options being provided to Austin ISD. We aim to be flexible to get this work done with the ever demanding needs of our educators. We want to thank you for your time and support of this important work and partnership. We look forward to continued collaboration and to answering any questions that may come up based on this update, and so that we can continue to be responsive to the needs of the district. Thank you.